It is the SummerCart 64, a new to the scene N64 flash cart that supports NTSC, PAL region, and also Nintendo 64 disk drive games out of the box, all while simultaneously sporting a lower price point compared to the EverDrive X7 and X5. It's also open source and continually being worked on. Being open, it's available as a prepackaged device via many different outlets. We were sent ours via a store on AliExpress, where you can find a variety of different SummerCarts. This store actually wanted to partner with us and do more of a sponsorship/paid situation, but we opted to just focus on a review. That said, it should go without saying, our thoughts and opinions are our own. So let's get into it. Is this $50 flash cart worth your time and worth your money? Now here is the cart proper. It comes with 2 sticker options, which are a little bit small actually, but colorful. And there's a programmable button in the back, which in this case is advertised as a disc switching button for the N64 DD games. We will see whether or not this actually works. And lastly, unlike some other flash cart options, this actually comes with an 8GB micro SD card packed full of ROMs. Now, how you feel about purchasing ROMs is up to you, but here's what we've got. Big variety of US games here. Now, I'm not sure if it's every game, but you can easily put more on if you want. The Japanese and PAL game selections seem to focus a bit more on the titles that were exclusive to that region, which is nice. And we also have one N64 disk drive game. To my surprise, it was the fan-translated version of Mario Artist Paint Studio. And even more to my surprise, there was a credits text file, which has our good friend Luigi Blood, among others, credited. Now, I don't like the idea of mods or fan projects being sold, but more so, especially when it's a standalone cart, but I at least appreciate, in this case, the attempt to credit the translators. Now, 8GB actually wasn't enough for me because I wanted to load more 64 DD titles, mods, and prototypes to the cart, but I imagine 8GB is probably enough for most people. I also added some N64 DD disc to cartridge ROM conversions into the SD card as well, just in case the 64 DD /.NDD ROMs didn't load properly. I wanted to get my disk drive in. Each folder has a subfolder for saves, and the root folder has bonus saves in case you want to use them. Now, strangely, the N64 disk drive folder does not retain the disk saves here. There is a save folder with my F-Zero test save in it, but that's just because I put a cartridge F-Zero ROM in the folder and saved my game, again, as a test. I can't figure out where the actual saves from the disc games are saved to, but they do save, which was originally a concern of mine. Maybe it just overwrites onto the file itself. I'm not sure. And here's me booting up Mario Artist Paint Studio. You can see the load speed here. And here's some random saved items from me and my son. It retained the data, and it does work. It does save. The reason why I keep mentioning that over and over again is because, again, the mechanism for saving to a disk is different from saving to a cartridge or saving to a controller pack, so emulation has had some issues with that in the past. But how about the disk switching? Well, the button on the back does seem to work to simulate a disk ejection, but there's nothing programmed here to let you swap disks. It doesn't kick you back out to the menu to select a new disk or anything like that. It just emulates the eject. If there is a way to do it, it's not clearly explained, so I think this feature needs a little bit more thought and tender love and care, because again, there's no reason why you would just want to eject a disk. You'd always swap disks, so I don't know what's going on here. Otherwise, 64 DD games work very well. But what about European or PAL format games? Will they play on my NTSC N64? Here is a PAL exclusive, with a bit of a long load time, which is weird, but yes, it does load and work. Here's another cart load time for comparison. Otherwise, I tested a variety of carts and cart sizes, the controller pack, rumble pack, etc., all good. Now, I'm sure there's no reason why these accessories wouldn't work, but I, again, just kind of wanted to test to make sure. Now, this bit here is kind of hilarious. It's me playing with my kids. I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. My daughter, the 5-year-old, is just starting to play video games, just about a month or so ago, and has never played a racing game in her life, except for right now, this very instance. This was her first attempt. Can you guess who's who? Who's the 5-year-old, who's me, and who's the 8-year-old? And I even tested prototypes and mods, all good. The only issue I ran into is when I was playing Scars, which is a retail game, by the way. I have no idea if it was the fault of my console, or the cart, or both. No other games glitched except for this one. Now you might be wondering, how does the SummerCart 64 compare to other N64 flash cartridges? Now, to be honest with you, I've only owned one other flash cart, which was the 64 drive, which was really more for development purposes than playing purposes. I didn't use it for development, but I actually used it for dumping games. Rarely did I ever play games on the 64 drive. In fact, the original version didn't even support saving, so it really was kind of a very focused flash cart. A more apt comparison would be to say, hey, should I get this or the EverDrive, the king, right? EverDrive is sort of like on that pedestal, very good quality flash cart, very well known, right? Well, unfortunately, I've never owned an EverDrive, so I thought it might be more appropriate to ask an expert.
You might be asking yourself, why should I get this instead of an EverDrive? What's the real differences? Well, I'd say personally the biggest one, being able to play those N64 DD games. I'll be honest, it's cool to play a real Nintendo 64 disc drive, but it is a hell of a lot of money. A hell of a lot of money these days. And while I am one of those weirdos who really enjoys the Japan Pro Golf Tour game, that game is a ludicrous amount of money. But if you and the boys just want to get a little sauced and play some N64 golf, oh baby. Oh, you are going to love being able to do it for a mere $52 dues. Louis was enjoying himself a little bit too much.
He was whining because he wanted food.
Oh,
shit, Louis.
Oh, who's my guy? EverDrive? It's got Game Shark, which is pretty cool, and honestly, getting a Game Shark working these days is a pain in the butt. Like that. It can also back up your old controller packs, which is cool because you'd be amazed how quickly you can lose the saves on those. But really, it's about, what are you interested in? What's the killer feature for you? Is it getting pet a whole bunch and scratched and having your ears rubbed and somebody just combing your back over and over and over again as an insane amount of fur has come out during this entire shooting? Seriously, how does he produce this much?
Thank you very much to our expert and, of course, his canine assistant. I think the gist of it is that this is a very solid flash cart. However, I should note that it's a very solid flash cart from the store that we got it from. This isn't an open source product, so I can't necessarily vouch for every single store that sells this. It may vary in build quality. However, this one right here is pretty good. And if it's something that you're interested in, we'll go ahead and put links in the description below so you can go ahead and check it out. And aside from that, thank you all for subscribing, clicking that notification bell. We finally hit 100,000 subscribers, and we really appreciate all of you supporting us along the way. We're hoping to do a 100,000 subscriber, 15 years of Hard4Games special very soon. But for now, I just wanted to give you all a very quick and sincere thank you very much. And of course, hope to see you all back for the next video. Take care.